Welcome to quiz time. I've got questions for you. Fun questions. The topic of the day being the 1960s. So let's see what we remember and what we know, shall we? And don't forget to have a little fun while doing it. All right, let's get started. In 1961, a man stepped into a strange-looking metal sphere, was lifted into the air, and minutes later he was no longer on Earth. Who was he? John Glenn, Yuri Gagarin, or Neil Armstrong? He was Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, I think. In the 1960s, a particular type of car door became a status symbol and made cars look like they could take off like planes. What was it called? Butterfly doors, gull-wing doors, or suicide doors? Those were gull-wing doors. In 1966, a strange green-colored soft drink appeared on shelves, promoted as the perfect drink for relaxation. What was it? Was it Mountain Dew, Sprite, or Surge? It was Mountain Dew. For relaxation, eh? A 1960s music trend made people believe they were traveling through time or space just by listening to a song. What was this style called? Psychedelic rock, progressive jazz, or dream pop? It was called psychedelic rock. Which unusual invention from the 1960s was originally meant to be a military weapon, but became a popular children's toy instead? The Slinky, the Super Ball, or the Nerf Ball? It was the Nerf Ball. A weapon, you say? Who knew? A certain shoe style in the 1960s made people appear taller and nearly impossible to run. Which one was it? Considered a bold fashion trend in the 1950s? Platform shoes, Windpicker boots, or Cuban heels? Winklepicker boots. They're platform shoes. I didn't have to know how to pronounce Windpicker boots. What 1960s gadget, marketed as a kitchen revolution, proved to be complicated and hard to use? The electric egg cooker, the electric fondue set, or the Jell-O mold maker? It was the electric fondue set. A black and white checkered object in the 1960s became a major symbol of rebellion and counterculture. What was it? A taxi cab? A mod fashion pattern? Or a chessboard? A symbol of rebellion and counterculture. A mod fashion pattern. In 1965, a highly advanced-looking car shocked the world by driving without anyone touching the steering wheel. What was special about it? Controlled by remote, early cruise control, or voice-activated steering? It was early cruise control. You still have to be on a steering wheel. Anyway, in the 1960s, a new type of chair appeared that looked more like a giant spoon or an alien spaceship than a piece of furniture. What was it? The egg chair? The bubble chair? Or the pod chair? It was the bubble chair. In 1962, a highly experimental aircraft took off, but instead of having one or two wings, it had none. How did it stay in the air? A jetpack powered it? It used vertical thrusters, or it was shaped like a flying saucer? It used vertical thrusters. A certain type of dessert from the 1960s looked completely normal until you took a bite, and then it suddenly changed flavors. What was it? Magic shell ice cream, space dust candy, or Jell-O 1, 2, 3? It was Jell-O 1, 2, 3. A famous toy from the 1960s originally had no face at all, until kids were encouraged to design one themselves. What was it? Was it Mr. Potato Head? Was it Etch-a-Sketch? Or was it Wooly Willy? Of course, it was Mr. Potato Head. A 1960s futuristic building meant to symbolize the future now resembles a relic of the past. Which one is it? The Space Needle, the Unisphere, or the Theme Building? It was the Space Needle. A mysterious signal was detected in the 1960s. For a brief moment, scientists thought it might be from aliens. What was it? Was it a pulsar, a solar flare, or a radio wave bounce? It was a pulsar. In 1965, a pivotal civil rights event occurred during a bridge march for voting rights. Which bridge was it? The Golden Gate Bridge? The Edmund Pettus Bridge? Or was it the Brooklyn Bridge? It was the Edmund Pettus Bridge. What unexpected feature made the first color TV sets a luxury most families couldn't afford in the early 60s? Gold-plated screen edges, astronomical price tag, or the built-in radio system? It was the astronomical price tag. Which odd but delicious 1960s drink gained popularity when people began mixing it with every soda, from cola to root beer? Tab, Listerine, or 7-Up? It was Tab. In 1965, a strange craze hit the streets when people wore colorful plastic discs on their feet. What were they called? Roller skates? Skateboards? Or hula hoops? They were skateboards. Which bizarre yet popular 1960s toy had kids setting fire to a wick, watching it fizz, and then thinking it was science? The Easy Bake Oven, the chemistry set, or the Slinky? It was a chemistry set, and it was science. In 1966, which revolutionary yet quirky TV series made a lasting impression with a caped crusader, a giant pow on the screen, and no serious plot? The Green Hornet, Batman, and the Avengers. Blammo! Powie! It was Batman, and there was too a serious plot. Which 1960s product, initially for kids, was advertised as a way to defy gravity by bouncing on a rubber ball? Moon boots, Hoppity Hop, or the Jump-O-Lean? It was the Hoppity Hop. In 1963, a strange trend appeared when people started decorating their homes with vibrant, shaggy mats made from an unlikely source. What material was it? Wool? Plastic? Or hemp? It was plastic. Which quirky 1960s phenomenon involved parents sending off good luck packets filled with magic dust to their children before exams? The Lucky Pen, the Shiny Rock, or the Lucky Envelope? Well, it was the Lucky Envelope. In the 1960s, which bizarre fashion statement had men wearing brightly colored oversized suits, making them stand out in every crowd? Hippie pants, the Mad Mod look, or the peacock suit? It was the peacock suit. Which strange 1960s product came with a promise to bring the space race into your living room, but only made popcorn? The Space Popper, the Moon Popcorn Machine, or the Starburst Popper? It was the Space Popper. Which 1960s movement had the youth of America rejecting everything old and embracing the unconventional, all in the name of peace? The Bohemian Movement, the Beat Generation, or the Hippie Revolution? Rejecting everything old. The Hippie Revolution. What shocking 1960s toy was advertised as the toy of the future, but quickly became a choking hazard in millions of homes. The Slinky, the Magic 8 Ball, or the Water Wiggle? It was the Water Wiggle. In the 1960s, which product claimed to help walk like an astronaut, but turned out to be a ridiculous fitness craze instead? The Spacewalker, Moon Boots, or Astro Fitness Straps? It was Astro Fitness Straps. In the 1960s, which strange advertising trend had people believing they could instantly clean their teeth just by chewing this product? Stride Gum, Pepsodent Chews, or Wrigley's Chewing Gum? It was Pepsodent Chews. Which 1960s technology was considered cutting edge, but was just a device to record long-distance phone calls? The tape recorder, the walkie-talkie, or the home videotape? It was the tape recorder. That's all it was. Which 1960s snack was marketed as the perfect on-the-go meal, despite being a little too strange to even catch on? Space food sticks, Fry's Dreed ice cream, or instant pudding cups? Space food sticks. That does seem strange. What peculiar 1960s car feature had drivers thinking they were finally in the future, though it was mostly just a gimmick? Power windows, tail fins, or the push-button gear shift? 60s car feature. The push-button gear shift. Which 1960s TV show gave birth to a bizarre obsession with monsters among kids, making them fearfully fun in every household? The Munsters, the Addams Family, or Scooby-Doo? The Munsters. Which 1960s advertising slogan promised, "Your hair will be perfect every time," yet left many questioning its claims? Is it real or is it Clairol? Because you're worth it, or does she or doesn't she? Does she or doesn't she? Which bizarre 1960s TV gadget was touted as a revolutionary new way to watch TV, but was nothing more than a cheap novelty? Color TV glasses, the rabbit ears antenna, or the video disc player? Color TV glasses. In the 1960s, what odd chocolatey candy bar was promoted as a healthier alternative to traditional candy, despite being loaded with sugar? Almond Joy, Sugar Babies, or O. Henry? O. Henry. Which futuristic 1960s home appliance became a staple, though many couldn't figure out exactly why it was needed? The popcorn machine, the electric can opener, or the ice cream maker? The electric can opener. That's a good question. Which 1960s toy line sparked a frenzy with its action-packed figures, though the play scenarios were often just too weird? G.I. Joe, Barbie dolls, or Hot Wheels? It was G.I. Joe. In the 1960s, which space-age kitchen appliance became a household staple, though no one was quite sure how to use it properly? The toaster oven, the electric knife, or the blender? It was the electric knife. Which 1960s beach trend had parents panicking, fearing it was too daring for young people? Bell bottoms in water, the bikini boom, or surfboard dancing? The bikini boom. Does that seem too daring these days? What unexpected event in the 1960s caused a blackout across major U.S. cities, sparking rumors of UFOs? The Great Northeast Blackout, the solar flare incident, or the Roswell cover-up? It was the Great Northeast Blackout. What 1960s beauty trend had women applying a bizarre chemical to their hair, often with disastrous results? Beehive spray, home perm kits, or DIY hair bleach? It was home perm kits. What unusual safety feature did some 1960s cars come with, even though drivers often refused to use it? Retractable seatbelts, dashboard padding, or automatic headlights? Retractable seatbelts. What strange material did some 1960s parents put in their kids' bedrooms, believing it was futuristic and fun? Inflatable furniture, glow-in-the-dark carpet, or plastic bubble walls? It was inflatable furniture. What eerie 1960s movie was so terrifying that theaters allegedly handed out barf bags to queasy viewers? Rosemary's Baby, Night of the Living Dead, or was it Psycho? And that movie was Psycho. What bizarre beauty treatment did some 1960s women endure, involving a strange machine that shook their bodies? The vibrating belt machine, the electric slimmer, or the rotating massage table? It was the vibrating belt machine. Which forgotten 1960s toy left many kids with bruises, but was still a playground favorite? Clacker balls, the jump stick, or spring-heeled sneakers? It was clacker balls. What odd ingredient did some 1960s TV dinners include, advertised as a gourmet touch, but often left untouched? Buttered snails, liver chunks, or pineapple glazed meatloaf? Liver chunks. Untouched, you say? What creepy 1960s commercial featured a doll that talked, but often whispered eerie phrases when batteries ran low? Chatty Cathy, Tiny Tina, or My Best Friend Betsy? It was Chatty Cathy. What oddball 1960s car feature made people feel like they were in a spaceship, but proved incredibly impractical? Wrist-controlled steering, bubble roof domes, or push-button ignition panels? It was bubble roof domes. When 1960s food fad had people experimenting with mixing soda and dairy, despite the strange taste? Coke and milk, root beer and buttermilk, or Sprite and cream? Coca-Cola and milk. Eef. What eerie 1960s game promised to predict your future, but mostly just scared kids at sleepovers? The Ouija board, the magic wishbone, or was it the mystery ball? It was the Ouija board. What odd material did some 1960s kids' lunchboxes contain, later banned for being hazardous? Lead paint, asbestos lining, or mercury coating? It was asbestos lining. What bizarre 1960s beauty trick had women spraying their legs to fake the perfect tan, only for rain to ruin it? Bronze dust powder, tinted hairspray, or leg makeup spray? It was leg makeup spray. What strange 1960s car feature made drivers feel futuristic, but led to lots of accidental honking? Horn-controlled turn signals, wristwatch car keys, or push-pad dashboard controls? It was push-pad dashboard controls. What shocking ingredient did some 1960s sodas include before regulations kicked in? Lithium, formaldehyde, or caffeine powder? 1960s sodas, some contained lithium. What 1960s board game had kids pretending to get sick with symptoms like mystery spots and wiggly bones, green fever, funny bones, or doctor's orders? It was funny bones. What ridiculously dangerous 1960s toy involved actual fire and got banned for the obvious reasons? The exploding rocket set, the fireball juggler, or the creepy crawler's oven? It was the creepy crawler's oven. But it was fun. What odd 1960s food trend had housewives stuffing all kinds of meals into gelatin molds, no matter how weird it looked? Meat jello, floating fruit delight, or gelatin surprise casserole? It was meat jello. What popular 1960s activity made kids feel like daredevils, despite the real danger of scraped knees and broken bones? Sidewalk soapbox racing, homemade trampoline jumps, or backyard zipline stunts? Sidewalk soapbox racing. What odd 1960s invention was supposed to make watching TV more immersive, but mostly just gave people headaches? 3D TV glasses, aroma TV scents, or color-tinted screens? Aroma TV scents. What weird trend had 1960s diners flipping their burgers upside down before taking a bite, thinking it enhanced flavor? The reverse bite test, the flip and taste challenge, or the bottom bun theory? It's the bottom bun theory, and I swear it works. What crazy 1960s shoe fad made people look stylish, but also resulted in countless stubbed toes? Wooden sole sandals, pointed leather loafers, or toe-free heels? It was pointed leather loafers. What odd 1960s snack food had a name that confused people into thinking it was for breakfast, but it wasn't? Cheese puff cereal, coffee-flavored chips, or chocolate bacon bites? It was cheese puff cereal. What wacky 1960s kitchen gadget had people trying to grill food using only steam, resulting in very soggy steaks? The mist cooker, the steam broiler, or the moist meat machine? The steam broiler. What bizarre 1960s cleaning hack had housewives using a food product to polish their floors? Mayonnaise wax, Coca-Cola shine, or peanut butter polish? It was the Coca-Cola shine. What odd 1960s party trend had guests wearing blindfolds while trying new exotic foods, often leading to chaos? The secret bite game, the mystery meal challenge, or the blindfolded banquet? It was the blindfolded banquet. What strange 1960s toy let kids play doctor using fake skin that peeled off like real sunburn? Mr. Skin and Bones, Dr. Dermo, or Peel-a-Pal? That was Peel-a-Pal. What odd material was briefly used for 1960s Halloween masks, only to be banned for making kids break out in rashes? Rubber cement, vinyl-coated paper, or treated fiberglass? It was vinyl-coated paper. What bizarre 1960s snack had a commercial showing kids eating it with chopsticks, though it had nothing to do with Asian cuisine? Cheese doodle sticks, crispy noodle bites, or corn curl twists? It was cheese doodle sticks. What 1960s kitchen trend had people wrapping everything in foil, believing it kept food fresh forever? The foil frenzy, the wrap and store revolution, or the silver seal method? It was the foil frenzy. What crazy 1960s fitness trend involved women standing on vibrating platforms, promising weight loss without exercise? The jiggler machine, the fat melting belt, or the shake-off trainer? It was the fat melting belt. What unusual 1960s trend had men trying to smell like cigars and whiskey, thanks to oddly scented colognes? The gentleman's musk craze, the whiskey and tobacco splash, or the vintage aroma trend? It was the whiskey and tobacco splash. What oddball 1960s furniture design trend made people feel like they were living inside a giant inflatable bubble? The floating sofa, the air-filled chair, or the balloon lounger? It was the air-filled chair. What wildly unsafe 1960s playground equipment became infamous for launching kids through the air? The jet-propelled seesaw, the spinning disc, or the metal death slide? It was the spinning disc. What odd 1960s party trend had guests sitting in complete silence for the first 10 minutes, just absorbing the atmosphere? The quiet gathering, the silent social hour, or the mindful meetup? It was the silent social hour. What futuristic-looking 1960s invention was meant to replace forks and spoons, but people hated using it? The triple prong grabber, the auto spork, or the food tweezer? It was the food tweezer. What ridiculous 1960s health belief had people drinking vinegar before meals, thinking it would burn fat instantly? The vinegar slimming trick, the acid diet plan, or the apple cider cleanse? It was the vinegar slimming trick. It don't work. What shocking 1960s kids toy had actual metal blades and still got marketed as perfectly safe? The mini lawnmower, the junior carpenter kit, or the super sharp spin saw? The junior carpenter kit. What's the problem with that? What weird 1960s TV gimmick had audiences at home scratching their screens with a coin to reveal secret messages? Magic TV moment, scratch and see surprise, or the hidden clue broadcast? It was the scratch and see surprise. What ridiculous 1960s fashion trend had men wearing transparent plastic jackets, which fogged up in humid weather? The air-cooled suit, the space-age raincoat, or the see-through trend? It was the space-age raincoat. What unusual 1960s nightclub trend had people dancing inside glass cages, feeling like animals in a zoo? The go-go box craze, the glass cage dance trend, the mirror booth boogie? It was the go-go box craze. What shocking 1960s airline trend let passengers smoke cigars on flights, filling the cabin with smoke? The open-air flight policy, the cigar lounge in the sky, or the free smoke airways rule? The cigar lounge in the sky. What bizarre 1960s belief had parents thinking rocking chairs would hypnotize babies into behaving better? Rocking chair therapy, the hypno-rocker method, or the gentle swing theory? It was the hypno-rocker method. Works on me. What goofy 1960s party trick had hosts floating candles in bowls of punch, making it nearly impossible to get a drink? The glow and sip trend, the floating candle fad, or the fire and flavor punch bowl? It was the floating candle fad. What ridiculous 1960s fashion fad had men wearing extra wide belts, believing it made them look stronger? The power belt trend, the wide waist craze, or the super strength buckle look? It was the power belt trend. What odd 1960s beauty gadget was a tiny vacuum that promised to suck out wrinkles? The anti-aging pore vacuum, the Wrinkle Sucker 2000, or the skin tightening suction tool? It was the Wrinkle Sucker 2000. What surprising 1960s wedding trend had brides choosing black dresses, believing it made them look more elegant? The midnight bride look, the elegant noir wedding trend, or the gothic wedding style? The midnight bride look. What 1960s hobby, a family favorite, used tiny beads to make complex designs, symbolizing craftsmanship and patience? Cross-stitching, beadwork, or knitting? That would be beadwork. Which 1960s outdoor activity, once considered a simple pastime, later transformed into a nationwide craze with its own competitions and fan clubs? Frisbee, skateboarding, or hiking? It was Frisbee. In the 1960s, what strange new trend had people filling their homes with plants, turning indoor jungles into the latest craze? Bonsai trees, house plants, or herb gardens? And that would be house plants. What once simple 1960s fad made its way to nearly every American living room, challenging the notion of what home entertainment could be? Record players, color television, or karaoke machines? And that would be color television. Which unexpected 1960s fashion trend, often worn by both men and women, made its debut as a symbol of free-spirited youth? Tie-dye shirts, skinny jeans, or platform shoes? It was tie-dye shirts. What space-age item from the 1960s became so iconic that it showed up in nearly every household, despite it being more about design than function? The plastic dining set, the lava lamp, or the fold-out sofa? It was the lava lamp. In the 1960s, which bold fashion item was seen as a sign of rebellion, worn by youth who wanted to reject the norms of their parents' generation? Nehru jackets, or pink mohawk hairstyles, or houndstooth tartan dresses? It was Nehru jackets. Which bizarre 1960s diet fad, promoted by self-proclaimed experts, involved eating just one food item for days, claiming it would cleanse the body? The grapefruit diet, the cabbage soup diet, or the spaghetti diet? It was the cabbage soup diet. What 1960s invention initially seemed like a joke, but went on to change the way families organize their homes, turning mess into tidiness? The vacuum sealer, the folding chair, or the Tupperware containers? It seemed like a joke, but Tupperware containers are no joke. Which 1960s fashion accessory was a controversial must-have that became synonymous with the youth counterculture, often used to make a bold statement? The peace sign necklace, the beaded headband, or the woolen scarf? It was the peace sign necklace. And now, question 100. Which 1960s kitchen appliance was hyped as the future of cooking, but feared for radiation risks? The microwave oven, the infrared toaster, or was it the radar range? It was the radar range. And that's it. 100 questions. You have done an amazing job. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, share your scores in the comments, please. And hey, check out these 2 videos. They're really good. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.